Tonight, a senior officer shot and killed, and police on the manhunt for the suspect. Also, beach vendors at Cable Beach up in arms. We'll tell you why. And later, gaming operators giving back in a special way to some deserving students. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News brought to you by Flow Evo, powered by BTC. Flow Evo is here.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel Ferguson in for Candino Knowles. Thanks for joining us. Off the top tonight, a daylight brazen shooting leaves a senior officer and aide to the Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Margaret Pinling, dead tonight while in the area off Dolphin Drive. Now, his police colleagues flocked to the scene today to assist with the investigation. Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez, who was also shot while on duty several years ago, emotional on the scene as he updated on media on what transpired.
What we could say here this afternoon, the victim in this matter, we now know is a police officer. He is presently at PMH in critical condition, and we are asking the Bahamian people just to pray that the good Lord will keep him alive. This is the time that we need to come together and pray for the family as well. And you could see our colleagues, we are here in support. And we are asking the Bahamian people to please do the same. What I could say here is shortly after 3 p.m. this afternoon, the officer was seated just to my right in his vehicle along with his daughter, awaiting his son who attends the school just next door. While he was seated in the vehicle, he was approached by a lone gunman who pointed the gun at him and ordered him out of the vehicle. Eventually, the culprit fired a shot. He was hit to the body. The gunman pulled him out of the car, got into the car. At this time, his daughter had already exited the car and ran for assistance.
Now, the officer was transported to hospital by a police-escorted ambulance, and police later discovered the vehicle abandoned in the Rock Crusher area. Just before 6 this afternoon, now we learned that the officer died as a result of his injuries at hospital. Now, our Theo Seeley is live at the Princess Margaret Hospital tonight and picks up the story from here. Good evening, Theo.
Janea, as you've mentioned, police informed us just moments before news time today, around 6:24 to be exact, that one of their very own had unfortunately passed away following a brazen daylight shooting. Police obviously very distraught. Members from the Royal Bahamas Police Force from different ranks and file are here at the Accident and Emergency Unit at Princess Margaret Hospital tonight, obviously in mourning after the loss of one of their very own. We were trying to get Police Staff Association President Sonny Miller to come on camera and speak with us, but unfortunately he is locked inside of the family room with other members of the police force at this time. We're trying to console family members who are obviously grieving the loss of their loved one tonight. Police have issued a stern warning that they are on an island-wide manhunt for the man responsible for today's crime. Clayton Fernandez mentioned today, giving a stern warning that police will search high and low to find him.
I want to look him right in his eyes, that turn yourself in. Go to a pastor, go to some family members, and turn yourself in with your weapon, or we will find you.
That's the stern warning that police are sending out to the man believed to be responsible, or the man who is responsible for today's crime. Now, police had very little details to give us as to what are the particulars of the suspect that they're looking for, but we do know that police say the culprit is of slim build. He's believed to be about 5 inches tall and of dark complexion. So police are asking anyone that might have been in the area of the crime today, or that might have any information at the scene of the crime, which would have been on Dolphin Drive, or anyone who might have been in the Rock Crusher area where the vehicle that was used to escape today's crime scene, if anyone was in that area and may have seen anything, they're asking you to contact them at 919-911 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Reporting to you live from the Accident and Emergency Unit here at the Princess Margaret Hospital. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio, Janaea, but we're going to continue to follow this story and get any details that will be coming out of the police tonight following today's unfortunate incident.
Thanks so much, Theo. Of course, we will continue to follow this story. Theo Seeley at Princess Margaret Hospital tonight. Well, in other news, a 38-year-old man, Dino Pinto, hauled before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt today, charged with the stabbing death of Jeremy Petitfier back on September 8th at a bar on the Tonique-Williams Highway. Now, the accused was not required to enter a plea and opted for a voluntary bill of indictment instead. That matter adjourned until October 25th at 10 a.m. Also in crime news tonight, an American man is in police custody for suspected drugs found at the Lynden Pinling International Airport. According to reports, the suspect had boarded a plane headed for the U.S. when officers searched the plane and asked all passengers to disembark. Now, they also searched the departure lounge at the airport and reportedly found the drugs in the male restroom. Now, the American man was arrested. He's expected to face charges later this week. Well, in other news tonight, employees of the Arlucaya Resort locked in meetings today with Chairman of the Bahamas Hotel Corporation, Michael Scott, to discuss the way forward in regard to their employment. This comes after a letter was sent to employees from the Hutchison Group yesterday, informing them that they would now be under contract with the government of the Bahamas, who are now the new owners. Union President Michelle Dorsett telling Eyewitness News last night that about half of the employees have decided to separate from the hotel as this transition takes place. This means that they would be entitled to severance packages. Now, it is unclear if government or the former owners will be responsible for that payout. Now, government has said that the purchase of the hotel is only temporary at this time, but many have opined that this is a bad move.
Always said that it had to be the last resort. I'm not sure that was the last resort.
Pine Ridge MP Frederick McAlpine, who was fired from his post as chairman of the Hotel Corporation of the Bahamas earlier this year after voting against the budget, says government's purchase of the resort in Freeport, Grand Bahama, he believes won't do much to change the dire economic state of that troubled island.
Do you think would have happened if we've taken $65 million and pumped it into people or people wanting to do business to incentivize people to move forward to help move the economy of Grand Bahama? I think that might have been a better move than the purchase of a hotel. Government shouldn't be in hotel. A matter of fact, as serving chairman of the Hotel Corp, I just sold a hotel for the very same reason. You had people working who were being paid who were not working because the hotel was closed.
McAlpine said government's haste to buy is telling on the Minnis administration.
Recognizing whether or not we are capable of running a hotel when we're still having problems having a general post office in New Providence and in Grand Bahama. People are looking at the challenges at BPL. They're looking at the challenges of things that have not yet been done and that have been promised that have not been done. And so people are beginning to question, I hate to say this, but it is what it is. People are beginning to have problems with our competency as a government, our ability to perform. That's the issue.
He, however, says he remains a firm supporter of the party. The government's actions, he says, leaves much to be desired. Meanwhile, the 400 employees of the resort met with the new Hotel Corporation Chairman Michael Scott today. They were issued letters yesterday from the former owners, the Hutchison Group, telling them that they would now be under contract with their new owners, the government. Michelle Dorsett, president of the union that represents staff, telling Eyewitness News that about 200 workers have decided to accept separation packages.
They have their back pay and also the gratuities was all to them. They go, they get a severance package, and their back pay and gratuities who are entitled to it was owed to them. So they had two options, and that was no surprise.
Well, opposition leader Philip Davis also has questions on how the government is planning a successful takeover of the Arlukaya Hotel. Davis is calling on Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis to give a full and frank report on the property that has remained closed from the 2016 hurricanes.
What is the status of the business plan? This is the blueprint and the exit strategy, as this hotel is not a going concern, and all business efforts have not been very successful. What is the different and special this time around? Who is the financier, and what are the detailed terms of the loan? Of the potential buyers whose proposals Michael Scott claimed to be reviewing, why is the government refusing to simply put the proposed buyer and the seller together, since this is a private commercial transaction?
On to other news at this hour. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. The newly crowned Miss Grand Bahama has relinquished the title following a firestorm she created on social media this week. Edwina Gibson, in a social media post, publicly denounced her Bahamian nationality. Now in the post, Gibson says, "Ha, not a Bahamian, sorry, too gorgeous to be. Big up to my Zoes." The post garnered widespread public debate on whether or not she should continue to hold that title. Now, initially, pageant organizers had said that they would still support her in her reign and did not ask her to step down. However, today, in a statement, pageant officials said Gibson decided to give up the crown. They described it as a very unfortunate situation that they hope will not be repeated. Well, still to come, the University of the Bahamas is progressing toward modernization. And later, gaming operators making dreams come true for some of our nation's youth. We've got the latest, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast. You're looking at live pictures over Farrington Road, where the temperature is right around 85 degrees with an expected dip to 79. This is Eyewitness News. Welcome back. Well, we have that report for you. There seems to be trouble brewing in Paradise. A handful of straw vendors on Cabbage Beach, Paradise Island, as we said, telephoned Eyewitness News early this morning, airing their displeasure with some of the rules being introduced by their association. Now, the vendors say they intend to stand their ground. The association says they're moving full throttle with its new regulations, and Atlantis executives told us today that they support the association's proposition. Artheo Seeley has the details.
4 of 12 straw vendors who set up shop on Cabbage Beach, Paradise Island every day to make a living say their livelihoods are being threatened. The issue dates back to last week when the spokesperson for the vendors, Dion Roll, alerted the women that there would be a new vendor rotation introduced. The rotation would mean that the group of ladies would have to not only rotate where they set up shop, but also means that they will no longer work in familiar groupings. New vendors would be introduced to the clan, and the women we spoke with today aren't happy about it.
For years, we have been victimized on this beach. I've went to see Douglas Hanna, I've complained to Mr. Skippings, I've complained to different ones in authority. He curses you about your private area. It's terrible. And he says, because he said it to me and I quote, "I spends my money. I pays them to do what I want them to do. They don't pay me. And no matter who you goes to, will get no satisfaction."
So the women decided to call on Randy Roll, Secretary General of the Cabbage Beach Business Owners Association, in hopes that he would be able to speak on their behalf.
Lead these groups if they're working harmoniously together as one group. Why you want to infiltrate the group now to put people in there that they don't agree with? It doesn't make any sense. I don't care what nobody will just say. This group of people says they don't want these people, and then the so-called spokesperson, Dion Roll, he's saying to them, cursing them in front of the guests. And practicing extortion, or they're taking money on this beach to get favoritisms or whatever, because he in charge.
But according to Atlantis executives, Roll isn't seeking favoritism. Senior Vice President of Public Affairs Ed Fields told Eyewitness News today that Roll followed Democratic protocol before introducing the new staff rotation regime.
So the association got together and they had a vote. And the vote was to reorganize the groupings. Okay? Mm-hmm. So their lawyer sent me a letter, complete with the new groupings, and said the association has decided this is how the new grouping should be. Okay?
Right.
So we support the association once it's a majority position.
Fields says the women still opposed those results, so Atlantis did a survey of their own.
And 21-9, okay, decided to go with the new groupings. And so we say, look, majority rule, we support the association position. Okay? Right. So we're not trying to move them off the beach in the first instance. That was in the rationale. What we are trying to do is get them to comply with the method of operation and the new groupings.
The women who oppose the new rotation scheme have until Friday to get in line or leave. Reporting for Eyewitness News, I'm Theo Seeley.
Thanks, Theo. Well, the University of the Bahamas opened its doors to its students' population for the start of the new school year on August 20th. And now into the second week of September, leadership of the university invited media for an update on the institution's progress toward modernization. Shoring up financial stability is high on the university's agenda. Theo Seeley, working very hard today, has that report.
What was once known as the College of the Bahamas, after years of work and preparation, transitioned into the University of the Bahamas 2 years ago. It was just the first step in a series of goals that the institution has lined up for its future. While the university has a lot of plans to modernize the institution, they're in need of public support financially. Ryan Antonio, with responsibility for finances at UB, confirmed that the financial state of the institution could be a lot better.
It can be much better. I mean, to be very honest with you, I think we have some challenges in terms of, from a funding perspective. Costs are rising, and we kind of capped with our revenue side in terms of tuition. But we're making our best efforts to do it.
And so rather than solely relying on tuition to fund university initiatives, the start of an endowment is what UB is working toward to shore up the university's financial status. Here's President of UB, Dr. Rodney Smith.
The endowment is what's going to help the institution to grow. So we need a lot of our corporate partners, individuals who give scholarship money, to really think seriously about giving an endowed scholarship fund, which will go a longer way, be of much more benefit not only to students individually, but also to the entire institution.
UB's endowment fund is currently at $3 million, a far cry from the desired $300 million they're hoping to secure. In the meantime, they're also getting after international accreditation.
I think that we're moving positively in that direction. All of the efforts that you see taking place on campus regarding accountability, continuous improvements, etc., are all helping us to move in that direction. We are expecting that we're going to have that full accreditation in December of 2020.
And in the spirit of continuous improvement, UB Provost Dr. Linda Davis revealed that diverse graduate programs are in the pipeline.
And so we are looking at, for example, a Master of Education in Teacher Leadership, a Master of Arts or Science in Speech Language Pathology, a Master's of Arts in Teaching, Special Education, Science, Reading, Inclusive Education, Counseling, Law, Social Work, Psychology, Accounting, Economics, and of course the traditional MBA. And we are not just stopping at the Masters. We are looking at higher degree by research in science and social sciences, at an MPhil, at a Master in Research, and of course...
Dr. Davis confirmed that the university is not only modernizing its product offerings, but they have also recently mandated that all teachers at the university must possess terminal degrees as well. Reporting for Eyewitness News, I'm Theo Seeley.
Thanks, CO. Well, the Bahamas Gaming Operators Association made the dreams of 3 young Bahamians come true for the start of the new school semester. The nonprofit organization provided the trio with scholarships to attend the private institutions of their choice here in New Providence. Now, top performers from A.F. Adderley, Lance Porter, and Uriah McPhee, Darnell Mitchell, and Javon Wilson were awarded scholarships to attend the Jordan Prince William High School, St. Augustine's College, and also the Kingsway Academy. Now, the lucky students will receive $4,000 annually. 2 of the 3 recipients express gratitude today.
I believe this is the first step to showing people that public school children don't always be a failure, even though sometimes they are financially challenged. I received good education in A.F. Adderley and Yellow Elder, and I thank them, but now it's time for me to move on to private school where I could be getting my education from now on. And I thank all the people who helped me get here, because Lord knows I had to work hard and I had a lot of problems, grade 8 and grade 9 especially. And I thank my parents, I thank my teachers, I thank everybody who helped me. And now I can show them that I will be a success.
I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get inside the school. I just took it because my big brother went to SOC and I wanted to go there too. But I thought I was going to go to L, honestly. But I am thankful for the people who gave me a scholarship, because without them I wouldn't be going to the school.
Well, President of the BGOA, Gershon Major, admitted today that while the gaming industry has been under heavy fire from government, and while the sliding tax regime is still in limbo, the industry's corporate and social responsibility will not be adversely affected.
This is one of those areas that we will keep, because to us, our ability to impact lives, especially young lives that are sitting here today, is what this is all about when you talk about corporate and social responsibility, to impact the future. And so we will continue to do our very best in giving back, and hopefully do more of these types of initiatives.
Well, coming up in tonight's BTC Connection, the company makes a positive impact on the nation's youth, targeting young men and making a difference. But coming up in sports, Randy Smith is off the top with the latest.
Janae, the University of Kentucky added another Bahamian to its coaching staff. We have the latest coming up in Eyewitness Sports. Good evening, everyone. I'm Randy Smith, and welcome to Eyewitness News Sports. Leading off tonight, the Bahamian pipeline at the University of Kentucky continues to strengthen. Yesterday, the school named Debbie Ferguson McKenzie as the assistant coach of its track and field and cross-country program. Earlier in the summer, the school named Bahamian Lonnie Green as its head coach. Ferguson McKenzie spent the past 4 years at the University of Houston, where she helped develop their sprinting program, particularly the women's short sprints. In boxing news, Chris Joy and iFight Promotions is working with the Bahamas Amateur Boxing Federation to put on a fight card next month. Joy said that he's ambitious about working with some of the local talent and that both sides are just finalizing a venue, but planning has already begun.
My nature here in the Bahamas is to help develop the sport of boxing. And we're looking to do that by bringing in talent from the U.S. to mingle with the talent here, to get the proper talent here, the exposure. But what makes iFight Promotion different than most other promotion companies, we're more into developing the talent here, keeping the talent here. So not only will you increase boxing, you increase the revenue of the country. What we're looking to do now is we have a great relationship with the Mayweather camp. We're in talks right now with Justin Mayweather, which is Floyd Mayweather's little brother. He's looking to fight here. We're looking to try to do it within the next 30, 60 days, once we find the proper location and whatnot. And we're looking to move forward with it. He has already given a verbal agreement. I have the contract for him in the next 10 fights. So there's a possibility he will be fighting here. And not only with him fighting here, we have former world champions and up-and-coming champions that has already agreed to fight here in the Bahamas.
In softball action, the NPSA semifinals continued last night at Bankers Field. In women's action, the Johnson Lady Sharks rolled past the Johnson Lady Truckers 11-4 to force a fifth and deciding game in their semifinal series. The clinching game is set for Thursday at 7 p.m. and the finals begin on Saturday. The winning team takes on the defending champion Sunshine Auto Wildcats. Well, that does it for us in sports, but stay tuned. Eyewitness News continues in a moment. I'm Randy Smith. Have a great evening.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Tonight, BTC heads back to the classroom with a focus on young men, all in an effort to steer them in the right direction. Well, coming up and beyond the headlines.
Understanding that reading is fundamental and wanting to do our part to assist our kids towards a common future, a team of BTC's volunteers left our corporate offices today to come here to the Sybil Strawn Primary School to read to students.
Scooby-Doo barked from the back of the mystery machine. I'm a part of BTC's I Volunteer team, and of course we do a lot of other stuff, but this one is just reading to the students, which I quite enjoy because kids don't understand, or people on the whole don't understand the importance of reading. So I was more than happy to assist with this exercise today.
It meant a lot because it showed that reading is important, and as you can see, I have an all-boys class, and my aim is to get them more involved and love reading. And so this was a great exercise that you guys did today.
I'm not surprised that they would even think of something like this because it is our job, BTC's job, the company's job, to reach out and help wherever help is needed. And of course, reading, comprehension, literature, this is very important to making it in life because you really and truly need to be able to read, certainly to be able to speak properly and to, perform on a job. So it's very important, and BTC took this initiative, and I'm very pleased that they did, and I'm really not surprised because this is what we do. We help.
Thank you, BTC! So story time has ended today, but the students have assured us that the reading will continue. And we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day.
Well, coming up and beyond the headlines with Clint Watson, an overhaul for the construction industry. Our Clint Watson speaks with the newly appointed registrar, Omar Archer. He'll also talk about his infamous blogging and commentary leading up to the 2017 general elections. That's coming up and beyond the headlines that starts right after this.